Father of two, Ian Bobich was shot and killed outside his apartment in Anchorage, Alaska. I bind unto myself today the strong name of the Trinity, by invocation of the same, the three in one and one in three. I bind this day to me forever the power of faith, Christ's incarnation, his baptism in the Jordan River, his death on the cross for my salvation, his burst from the spiced tomb, his riding up the heavenly way, his coming at the day of doom. I bind unto myself today. I bind unto myself the power of the great love of the cherubim, the sweet well done in judgment hour, the service of the seraphim, confessor's faith, apostles' word, the patriarch's prayer, the prophet's scrolls, all good deeds done unto the Lord, and purity of virgin souls. I bind unto myself today the virtues of the starlit heaven, the glorious sun's life-giving ray, the whiteness of the moon and even, the flash of the lightning free, the whirling wind's tempestuous shock, the stable earth, the deep salt sea, around the old eternal rocks. I bind unto myself today the power of God to hold and lead, his eyes to watch, his might to stay, his ear to hearken to my need, the wisdom of my God to teach, his hands to guide, his shield to ward, the word of God to give me speech, his heavenly host to be my guard. Against the demon snares of sin, the vice that gives temptation force, the natural lusts that war within, the hostile men that mar my course. Or a few of many, far or nigh, in every place, in all hours, against their fierce hostility, I bind to me these holy powers. Against all Satan's spells and wiles, against false words of hearsay, against the knowledge that defiles, against the heart's idolatry, against the wizard's evil craft, against the death wound and the burning, the choking wave and the poison shaft. Protect me, Christ, till thy returning. Christ be with me, Christ within me, Christ behind me, Christ before me, Christ beside me, Christ to win me, Christ to comfort and restore me, Christ beneath me, Christ above me, Christ in quiet, Christ in danger, Christ in hearts of all that love me, Christ in the mouth of friend and stranger. I bind unto myself the name, the strong name of Trinity, by invocation of the same, of whom all nature hath creation, eternal Father, Spirit, Word. Praise to the Lord of my salvation, salvation is of Christ the Lord. St. Patrick's Day Prayer. Ian Alexander Bobich was larger than life. When he walked into the room, his presence was known. Ian was loyal, courageous, funny, loving, and hard-working young man. He had always been a leader. He had a good spirit and soul. He cherished his heritage and wanted nothing but the best for his kids. Ian was born on July 31st, 1987, in Cleveland, Ohio, to Maureen Mo Costello and John Bobich. He grew up Irish Catholic. He had 5 siblings, 2 children, and a fiancée named Cassandra. Ian and Cassandra had known each other since childhood and were together for 12 years. They got together in 2004. In December of 2013, Ian was released from prison after serving a 7-year federal prison sentence for conspiring to sell cocaine and an additional year for violating probation. He had turned his life around and moved with Cassandra to Anchorage, Alaska. He worked on the North Slope and then became a sheet metal worker for the Sheet Metal Workers Local Union 23. In his spare time, he loved to fish. In late 2015, Ian and Cassandra's son was born. On October 24, 2016, Ian and his family were living at the Government Hills apartment building at 831 Elm Street in Anchorage, Alaska. The neighborhood was a quiet one, where children played outside and residents greet one another during walks. Ian had went to get formula for the baby. Just before 11 p.m., Ian's neighbors called the police when they heard gunshots coming from the apartment building. When police arrived, they found 29-year-old Ian dead inside. Charles Gibson, a retiree from printing work on Fort Richardson's, who lived in another portion of the Elm Street building, had just gotten home at the time of the shooting. He didn't see anything, but he heard 4 to 5 gunshots. He thought that someone was shooting in the air, and along with another bystander, he quickly went inside for cover. There has been no speculation of what the motive might have been, and Ian's shooting is unsolved. Ian's friend, Orlando Centinela Jr., said that before the shooting, Ian was moving back to Cleveland to take a similar job. He was in the process of selling things to make his move easier. After Ian's murder, Cassandra moved back to Ohio. If you have any information on the persons responsible for the murder of Ian Alexander Bobich, call Crime Stoppers at 561-7867 or submit a tip to www.anchoragecrimestoppers.com.